Hey, what's up, guys? This is a pair of Chukka boots that I want to share with you from Acme Shoemaker. I featured them on a live stream that I did earlier this week, and I started to talk about the approach or the focus of this review during that live stream. So I'm just going to kind of continue on that conversation, expand a little bit in some areas, and add a few other details I didn't really have the chance to share during that video. So this is a pair of made-to-order Chukka boots from Acme Shoemaker, and I'm going to do this review a little bit different. I'll talk about the elements of the shoe that were really important to me during the ordering process from a perspective of I wanted certain details or certain elements to be in the final product, and then I'll jump right to my opinion on the result and kind of skip the normal details that I'll cover in any other review, which is like the fit, the break-in, the ordering process. I'll kind of eliminate that since I've covered it a number of times for Acme Shoemaker. And I'll really just kind of take the perspective of how well did they deliver and how well did they execute for this shoe. I'll cover the basics just like any other review would. So this is a pair of 3 eyelet Chukka boots. This is made in Horween Armagnac Shell Cordovan on their A20H round toe last, which has a very, very nice casual and subtle kind of classic round toe here. The Chukka boot has a 270-degree Norwegian construction with a natural double sole, a natural hand-stitched outsole, and as we kind of continue around, you can see the construction we'll get into on the upper in a second, the pattern there, but a very clean hand stacked heel. And then as we kind of continue around here, the bottom work is a double leather sole, like I mentioned. It's got a slate round waist, the heel top lift, and the half topi or the half front sole. As we're talking about what elements of this shoe were important to me, let me kind of pull up a few examples to kind of demonstrate what my thought process here is. So first, I think one of the obvious things is we have a 3 eyelet Chukka. How many different variations in the pattern have multiple pairs but make them different enough or unique enough to be special? So this has the derby quarters here and has a similar kind of heel seam on the back. But overall, the stitch pattern on the lacing quarters, as well as the derby, is much different than what you're seeing on this Chukka boot. Another example of how this could have been done is what you're seeing right here, which is a 5 eyelet plain-toed derby from Acme. You'll notice, again, instead of having the stitch detail on the actual facing where the lacing goes like it is on this derby, the lacing has a very clean, refined look. There's no stitching actually around that piece. You have a little more utilitarian look and stitch on either side to just give it a little different, a little more unique appeal to it. Those finer details that help differentiate, different patterns, even though the overall style is very similar. One final example I'll pull, this is from St. Crispin's. Now this is a 3 eyelet derby, but this has a very unique pattern to it as far as a derby pattern goes. It is almost a Chukka-esque type pattern where it's just kind of a straight line here and very simplistic, very refined look that keeps it very, very clean and simple. But this pattern has much more of a derby look to it than some Chukkas that are just coming straight up like you see what this derby does, even though they're both 3 eyelets. And there we go. That looks better. So even though they're both 3 eyelets, this has more of a derby aesthetic to it, while this has a very unique, almost like a Chukka aesthetic to it as far as how the rear quarter and the forefoot is connected on the pattern. Now let's get into like what I actually think of their execution and how this pair turned out. I really couldn't be happier with this. I'd say this is almost like the perfect Chukka for exactly what I ordered and what I wanted. The 270-degree braided Norwegian construction does an excellent job of making this a bit more robust, a bit more texture and eye appeal to the actual shoe, while still giving it a very refined and a very clean stance. If you look at it from this angle, it still has a very clean silhouette. Now, for the overall execution of the pattern, you can see it's very well balanced. The facing kind of stops evenly balanced throughout the entire shoe. The creasing or the flex points you can see are right kind of at the widest part of the ball of the foot. And it's just a very well executed pattern that sits on this last and on this size extremely well, which is not a surprise because Acme makes each upper specifically for that order. For the outsole, now this is a natural finish with the natural stitching to kind of complement the natural Norwegian construction there. And I think that really bodes well for the overall look of the shoe, which is kind of a refined, casual elegance to it. Yeah, it's very robust. It has a double sole. It has the Norwegian construction. It's got the rubber Vibram top sole and heel lift. But overall, it's still a very smart casual shoe. I think it's important to add some context there that when I say like this is the perfect Chukka boot, it doesn't mean that I feel any different or any less about any other Chukka boots that I have or had or will have. It just means that what I wanted this one for, what I expected from this order, and the details and the specifications that I made for this turned out exactly for what I had asked and what I was hoping it would turn out like. I think that's really all that we can ask. Overall, I really do enjoy wearing these, and I'm really pleased with how well the vision and the specifications that I had put forth and discussed with Acme, how they came out and how well they were executed based on the description and the requests I had made with Acme. Let me know what you think about these stylistic choices or the overall aesthetic that I was going for with this one. I mean, I definitely think it turned out really well, but I always like hearing different perspectives or different thoughts because I think that's really how you can kind of freshen up some of the looks, some of the styles that one typically goes for. So I appreciate everybody watching. Leave a comment about your thoughts on the boots, the video, and anything that you would like to see next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.